Diablo 3 was a disappointment. Let's not try and fool ourselves.
And we think Torchlight 2 is the game that Diablo 3 should have been.
Aha! But while vanilla Torchlight is good, what's better, Maze?
What's better is Synergies mod. It rebalances the entire game, adding 106 elite monsters,
106 hero monsters,
6 rare dragons,
world bosses,
whole new dungeons,
more customizations,
3 whole new classes,
and a whole bunch of endgame raids.
All in all, it's awesome. This week is a special episode of Everything in Moderation because we have the developer of Synergies mod on the show. So please a very warm welcome to Salan.
Hello guys.
Alright then, so these are our pimped out level 100 characters. I am playing an Ember Mage, Hopper is playing a Necromancer, and Salan is playing...
The Warlock.
The Warlock, which is the Alpha class right now.
Yeah, it's mostly done, but yes.
Cool. So let's head off, shall we?
Sure, we gotta go down here to Darren Kuyu Raid. It's on the left-hand side, the bottom. Now, for context, you guys have never been in here.
No.
So any screaming on Hopper's part is not exactly scripted.
No, this is brand new. So we want to jump into this TP scroll here?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Now, PC Gamer voted this mod in the top 15 hardest mods ever created. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
This is monster killing action right here.
Why would it be classed as one of the 15 top hardest mods? One of the biggest design features of Synergies was to make the fights last longer and be more challenging for the players. Basically, any difficulty you choose should challenge you a little bit more than what you're ever used to in the vanilla setting.
So can you tell us about the actual design of the creatures and just what makes them a bit more difficult?
Well, most of the general monsters is general stat changes. Some health increase, but most of it will be damage output. Most of it will be towards killing you rather than lasting longer if possible. If you just increase health and armor, you get health bloating where you don't have any challenge, you're still fighting the same thing over and over for minutes. But if you increase the damage output, you have to try to survive the fight a little harder, which changes the dynamics completely.
And so what can you tell us about the boss fights themselves?
Boss fights themselves, they're in this dungeon. There's 18 unique boss fights to Synergies that don't exist anywhere else. They
nice.
They range from timing fights to DPS checks to tank and spikes. Every type of fight you ever could think of, basically. They're designed to be completely different from each other as much as possible. Much more fun when you run into a fight you don't know exactly what's going to happen every time.
Can you tell us about the soul system you put into the game and the new armors and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the armors we're using here, you guys are both using what I always classed as tier 0.5, for instance. I made a tier 0 armor, which you find in this dungeon, that is about 10 to 15% higher than any of the uniques you find in regular Torchlight. So there's 7 sets based on your type of weapon use, mostly dual wield, two-hander, survival. Now, you go through these bosses. Each of these portals go to a separate boss. You go through the bosses. The bosses have a loot table, kind of like a normal raid in most MMOs you're used to. So you collect your gear. When you get your gear, they also drop soul stones. When you get soul stones, you can transmute with use of souls to make that gear more specialized towards whatever you want to angle it towards. So it's a crafting system within the loot system.
Oh, right. That is something completely new and very awesome.
So the Necromancer, basically you got your pet class, which was never included. In Torchlight 2, you have an engineer that has a few bots here and there, right? It's not a pet class. One thing that they needed was a dedicated pet class, and as we see here, you definitely have that with the Necromancer. of course, as we see, it does affect your frame rates when you have a lot of things going on.
All right, and how do you deal with the idea of something like balance?
Well,
Because that's a big job.
that's where I also built a major community forum base. We went into the boss fight. You keep mobile. The boss will drag you back to him. Try to jump away from him when you have to.
Okay. Oh wow, wow. Oh wow, I'm dead, guys.
He does an
So-
alpha. He does an alpha attack that you can see coming. If you get hit by it, you probably will still die at this level.
This is intense.
So his minions resurrect themselves as well. If
Oh,
you
wow.
you don't kill him fast, you can kill the little totem he puts up, which sucks you back into it.
Vark the Firstborn. That is intense. So many spell effects.
Some zombies.
More
Zombie
zombies
horde
than-
versus the bark horde.
Zombie horde wins. Alright, I'm coming back. Just gonna run past all these guys. So is this dungeon design, is it all your own?
Yes, I made the dungeon. Well, I used their chunks. I edited them out. I changed everything in them. And then I spliced it all together in the design that you see. It's not random whatsoever. It's always the same when you go into it.
It's all handcrafted.
Yeah, with their chunk in mind to begin with. Yes.
Cool.
I'll come to you guys. Yeah, the dungeon itself, basically when you enter it in, if you ever play MMOs, most of their raids are very static. You know what you're getting into when you go into it. You can plan. The whole idea is to plan what you're doing and how you're doing it. I wanted to take that idea and put it into a game that doesn't have that.
Okay, so so let's talk more about the early game stuff. And so, I mean, this is the really cool end game things that you've added in. Because at the end of vanilla, there's just nothing to do. So playing Synergies as the first playthrough to me makes so much more sense.
Yeah, and I spent I spent a lot of time changing the general playthrough for that reason alone. You can run into a billion different little monsters that we created. The elite monsters, the hero monsters, the rare dragons, the ancient trolls, and the random world bosses, which pop up and kill you randomly in the world.
When
And
they feel like it.
yes, even when they don't.
Alright, so there is actually new story content in Synergies, isn't there?
At the end game, yes.
Yes. So can you tell us about the writing and things like that, and how close you stick to the lore of the
Well,
Torchlight?
I'm more of a high fantasy person myself. I was never much of a steampunk person, so the fantasy kind of takes over for me because that's what I'm comfortable with. But I am trying to tie it together with an arcing story that goes backwards in time rather than forward. At the end of the Netherlord, okay, you kill this Netherlord, you're all happy, the world's safe, the Ember isn't being contaminated. Well, what happened before the Netherlord came? Why did he come? What was here before him? Before him, I want to tell a story about the ancient trolls, the dragons, and a new race of humans they called the Fahakin. And basically their story. What we can do now is we could always go to Darkness Falls and take a look at what the Fahakin will look like.
Well, these guys are these guys kick out damage.
Yeah,
Wow.
the idea of these guys is that this is the end game stuff where you have really good gear.
No, I'm by myself. I'm gonna die. So I've noticed a lot of these guys are using actual hero abilities from vanilla,
Yes, they are. Every single
which is very awesome.
yes, every single Fahakin was designed with the idea of, oh god, he's killing me. Every one of them was designed with the idea to make individual encounter difficult. So if you try to run through this place without clearing as you go, you're going to run into big problems because each and every one of these monsters is potentially enough to kill you.
Oh wow, I just died again. Alright, I'm no longer a godlike being, I'm only a supreme being now. I just lost so much fame.
Oh yes, you're losing fame every time, aren't you?
Yes. Oh no, I'm dead again. I've got to stay with you guys. Jeez.
Yes.
Jeez.
Oh, and then there's this one of these warriors here is using the Shadow Leap ability.
I know, I saw that.
Regenerating his life.
I know, I saw that. That was one of my favourite abilities from, because I in the vanilla I played a berserker, and that was one of my favourite abilities.
Yeah, I wanted to throw the players' abilities back at the players. You know, you get to beat up on these monsters all day long with your super powerful abilities. Well, here's a monster doing it back to you. Deal with it.
Yes. Oh man, it is not nice. Not nice.
We're gonna have to focus this guy down. We're not gonna kill him otherwise. Yeah. The whole idea basically is you can't ignore these guys.
No, you can't just run past him.
One of the biggest things I found with the old version of Synergies way back in February was that people were bypassing content to get to the bosses, to get to the loot.
Yeah.
How do you stop that? Well, you give them abilities like these guys have. If I could sell Synergies to somebody, what would I do?
Yes.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank.
It's incredible, dude. Come on, there's got to be 1,000,001 things.
Oh, there's a billion reasons. You know what? Synergies adds to the end game. It basically is recreating what you find in Torchlight 2. It is not the same experience. There's nothing here that you will find. You can play it from the start, you can play it from the end, and everything you do will be new. You'll be challenged. It won't be force-fed to you. It won't be easy. It's meant to force you to expand your thought process, to change how you play, and to make it difficult. You know, there's end content in a raid fashion that is repeatable, but not the same storyline that you've already played through. It's all new. It isn't something that you're just going back over that you've already done. And there's new classes, there's new epic gear. We're looking at putting in a whole new level of armor above legendary. It would be fantastic loot abilities.
Oh wow, that sounds awesome.
So many different things, and just, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It really is. That would be the overriding emotion you get from after playing this. It's just fun. Masses of fun. Alright, so we're into the review section now.
Hello!
Yes, this is the review section.
Hi!
It's very shiny in here.
Yeah, ooh.
Wonderful section.
Ooh, diamond layer.
Ooh, there's a hey, you can't reveal how blingy our office is. It doesn't work like that.
Whoops. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so Synergies mod
It's epic.
is absolutely incredible. It is one of the best complete rebalance mods I've ever played in my entire life.
He's played a lot of video games.
I've played a lot of mods and a lot of video games, and Synergies is
It's the best.
it's one of the best rebalances I've ever seen for any video game ever. It's best total overhaul mods I have ever had the good fortune to play. The level of detail and it's finely tuned.
Awesomeness.
Yeah, the level of awesomeness and the fact it's so finely tuned down to the last final detail. Salan has, and obviously his team, they've taken what was originally good about Torchlight and they've just made it better. They've tweaked
made it
everything.
epicer.
They have just made it more epicer.
Epicer.
It's just, it's how you would want the game to have been balanced originally, but it wasn't.
So just download the Synergies.
So download the Synergies mod,
Please.
please. All right. So obviously it adds a whole bunch of endgame stuff, which is huge amounts of value.
Like the dragons.
Yeah, the dragon bosses, all different kinds of boss fights. He's added, I think it was he said every kind of boss fight you could even think of.
I like loot.
Hopper likes loot.
Yeah.
She likes loot. I mean, what's not to like, right?
Yeah,
So that's another point. All the extra loot is very entertaining, very nicely designed, and very well come up with. and it all just works. Like, we didn't come across a single bug while we were playing the game. The new classes are so well done.
I like the Necromancer.
The Necromancer is awesome because, you know,
The Elementals is worse.
Well. Necro is just awesome. The new classes are cool. A whole bunch of design concepts in there that weren't from the original game.
Yeah.
And it is just wonderful. For any playthrough, from the very beginning to the very end, it is just better. Like, if you're going to start playing Torchlight 2, you should start it with Synergies mod.
Because I got bored of the first one.
Yeah, vanilla gets boring because it's not enough of a challenge. You
I just started yawning.
You wind up with, yawn.
Yeah.
You wind up with overpowered gear, underpowered monsters, and just destroying them all so easily.
And you can just run past them.
Yeah, and you can just run past them, and just get to the end, which is not very fun.
Secrets. I did that.
Secrets, because you can, right?
Yeah.
The game lets you, so you will. But with Synergies, it is just, mwah, mwah.
You can't do
Mwah.
that.
Yeah, Synergies mod just makes the game that much better, and that much more rewarding, and that much more fun to play. So, I mean, I don't think there's really anything else we need to say about this mod, really.
It is epic.
It is incredible, and the actual number of downloads speak for themselves. I don't know how many it is now. There is a crazy amount of downloads, and the forums are massively active. You can go on there, report anything you find, come up with suggestions, and they do actually take them in. So any suggestions you come up with will actually be taken into consideration and possibly added in the next patch. There's nothing about this mod that makes this bad. There's no jank, which you find in most mods.
Yep.
There's no bugs. There's almost no nothing. There is nothing bad. It is.
What?
There's nothing worse.
Maze is just trying to find something.
I'm trying to find the words. I haven't even
I
got
can't
the
find
words.
anything bad about this game, and his just mind explodes.
Yeah, just put next to the original.
His mind
game.
is exploding in the office right now.
My mind, the parts of my mind are on the floor.
Yeah. Yuck. Oh god.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't touch those. I don't know where they've been.
Ugh.
Anyway, but back to what we were saying.
Sorry.
This mod does not cost you anything. It increases your fun so massively. This is a massive recommend from us. There are not many mods or games or anything that
They're as good as this.
They're as good as this. I would
say this is the best mod I've ever played.
It is one of the best mods of
I would say this
ever
is the
created.
best mod.
It's certainly the best overhaul and rebalance mod.
Yeah.
And Salan is a very, very nice chap.
Yeah.
So support his work. Download this incredible thing.
And bam!
Just get looting, guys.
Yeah. Rootin' tootin'.
Rootin', tootin', lootin', shooting, fighting, swearing, spitting.
Yeah. Just all that stuff.
All that stuff. So
And shouting at the screen.
shouting at the screen when you die to an overpowered dragon.
Yes.
But there are no overpowered dragons. It's balanced perfectly.
Yeah.
Anyway, now we come to our ratings. So, right, I'm gonna give this one. This one is worthy of 100,000 smiling elephants sitting upon a pond
Tree.
full of paradise.
Wow.
Yeah,
I would just say.
that's what this mod is worth.
I would just say like 1 billion curly whirlies.
For our American viewers, a curly whirly is a chocolate bar filled with caramel that Hopper is very fond of.
That I eat like tons of a day. 1,000 curly whirlies lined up.
And you just...
And you win, and every time you open them, you win like a magical prize.
There we go,
Epicness.
guys. It is the equivalent of 1,000 curly whirlies, which give you magical, epical prizes.
Yep.
All lined up in a row.
Okay, that means loot.
Loot. Lots and lots of loot.
Yay! I will still looting till the end.
Ah. Oh, man. I'll keep on looting to the end. We are the heroes. We are the
necromancers.
We no time for scrub noobs, 'cause we are the heroes
of
of the
Synergies
game.
mod.
Well, that will be all, folks. You've been watching the Everbox. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and keep on eating curly whirlies.
And we shall see you next time.
See ya.